Come in.
Hi, Drew.
Hey, how's it going? Do we have a meeting scheduled today?
We did have a meeting scheduled today for lunch. Does this time still work for you?
I guess I'll have around 10
Okay.
minutes or so.
Okay, 10 minutes or
Yeah,
so.
I just completely fell off my calendar.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I promise to make this time valuable for you though.
Got it. That's
Okay.
fine. I can fit it in.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, thanks for inviting me out to lunch today at the Dandelion. Have you ever ate here before?
I have not, honestly. I don't really eat much out, so
Okay.
this is an interesting experience for me.
Yeah, I've been here a couple times. I recommend the burger if you want to give it a try.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And just to recap, I know you're a busy man. We had 15 minutes scheduled for a meeting. Is 15 minutes okay, or do you want to stick with 10 minutes?
15, I think I can stretch 15.
Okay, 15 sounds good. And last meeting, you mentioned some other decision makers, possibly Megan will be joining us. Is she around today?
Unfortunately, we've actually had some restructuring at our company, and Megan is no longer part of our firm.
Okay.
I've actually stepped into her role, so all the kind of authority that fell on her now falls on me.
Okay, all right, sounds like a plan. Is there any other decision makers you would like to include in our conversation?
Nope, just me. Again, very like quick restructuring. So
Okay.
Right now it's just me running the show.
All right, noted. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So my goal today is to discuss the financial breakdown of the WEX fuel card based on some of the stuff we discussed in our last meeting.
Mhm.
So just to set a quick agenda, I like to go over that recap of everything we discussed last meeting, possibly some key challenges that you faced in the past or currently facing with financials and fuel, and then finally, how I could offer you a solution that could save you some money and make filling those gas tanks easier.
Yep.
Sound like a plan, Joe?
Sounds cool.
Okay, and I brought along a presentation I'd like to share with you if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So I know you've never interacted with the WEX fuel card before from our past meeting, so I just wanted to give you a quick recap, and I brought along a physical copy today to share with you.
Mhm.
So the WEX fuel card is like giving your employees an easy pass for fuel instead of handing them cash and asking for receipts.
Mhm.
So right now, your guys are facing a lot of out-of-pocket costs, whether it be that physical collection of receipts or the manual entering of data.
Absolutely.
Just like stopping at a toll booth and fumbling through change. With WEX,
Good comparison,
yeah.
for sure.
With WEX, I'm gonna make your fuel purchases seamless, trackable, and controlled. Just like cruising through an easy pass lane without stopping.
Okay.
Do you see how that could be valuable to your company?
I do, but I'm like having a little bit of trouble just remembering exactly what we talked about last time. Again, it's been a busy week, so.
I actually brought a recap along with me today,
Awesome.
so we can dive into that. So you shared with me first that you're managing 36 of our vehicles at Enterprise.
Yep.
At $15,000 per month.
Mhm.
Also accurate?
Yep, still accurate.
Great. And you shared with me that Megan, although she's not with the company, I guess you've taken on this role, that it was taking her about 5 hours per week to put in these reimbursements. Is this taking you the same amount of time?
Again, I'm very new to this role, so I couldn't give you an accurate number, but if Megan said that's what it took her, I'm sure I could do it in 4.
Okay, yeah, so a pretty time-consuming process we're looking at. And lastly, we're lacking visibility into those reimbursement process, not really sure of the unauthorized spending, and you're having some driver frustration.
Yep.
Does that all ring a bell from our last meeting?
Yeah, now
It's
the memory's
catching up.
starting to come back a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, all right, good, I'm glad. Next, I want to discuss the key challenges and really what I want to tackle today to make this a smoother, seamless process for us. So you're struggling to manage that $15,000 per month. What's your biggest frustration that you've seen when it comes to managing this spending?
I would say it's just the inconsistency with like, yeah, we say 15,000 a month, but certain months we see like there's a lot of money being spent on gas and other types of things like that. And it goes up to 25, 30.
Wow.
Other months, I guess not as much. It can be 10, but the inconsistency in the financial just makes it tough for someone in my position, my department, to really like be strategic and predict consistently
Right.
what we're looking at.
I can understand how that would be frustrating, Drew. You know, I mentioned earlier in our first meeting the reporting, and I think that'll be a game changer for you because you can really see a breakdown of those investments and see where that money is going and maybe even make changes.
Sorry, when you say the reporting, what was that again?
Yeah, the reporting. So I brought along a physical copy for you today to look at. So this is our automated online one-click reporting. Megan, as of right now, or you now, was manually entering this data into the Excel spreadsheet. This is not the case with WEX. I'm going to give you these reports that are accessible online and immediately updates as your guys' fuel.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I definitely want to like learn a little bit more about like the process, how you gain your inputs and all of that. I think definitely makes sense. Sounds like it'll make my life a
Yeah.
little bit easier.
Yeah, so the process when the drivers fuel, they go, and this report is automatically updated, completely eliminating those 5 hours that you're facing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you? You would see value in a solution that
Absolutely.
time saver, and with time comes money, correct?
Exactly. Especially in this new role, time is especially even more at the essence.
Right.
So whatever saves us time is a top priority.
Okay, well, great. That's some of the things I brought along with me today, so I'm happy you're already seeing value in that.
Awesome.
And then secondly, the key challenge, that time spent on reimbursement process, which we just talked about, and that more visibility. I want to give you more visibility into your spending of the fuel expenses, because I think with more visibility is going to come a time saver and a money saver, because you're more aware of what's going on. And I want to put you back in the driver's seat of your fuel expenses, Drew. Sounds like a plan?
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, if nothing changed within your fuel expenses, everything stayed the same, you're wasting this time, you're not sure where this money is going, what type of impact would this continue to have on your company?
Yeah, that's a great question. One, I spoke of the inconsistency and the inability to like track and be consistent with our spending on a month-to-month basis. And when this is happening, it's hard to plan for initiatives we want to take in the future. I know during our last meeting, we did mention how we wanted to increase the scale of both the trucks that we have as well as our workforce.
Yeah, get that 36 to 40.
Absolutely, but like if we can't accurately evaluate how much money we have on a month-to-month basis, how much we're spending, how much we're gaining, things like that, it's hard to plan in the future for growth objectives like that we've set.
Right, I completely understand.
Absolutely.
So, and if this impact continued for 5 years, what type of path do you think this would lead you down, Drew, if no changes were made today?
That's a great question. I honestly don't even like thinking about it, but it would not be a good path.
Well, I want you to be excited for the future of your company, and hopefully my solution today can get you there.
Absolutely.
So the 3 main things I want to discuss when it comes to financials is rebate savings, time savings, and inefficiencies. Starting with the rebate savings. You're currently fleeting about 36 of our vans here at Enterprise, approximately fueling up 5,000 gallons monthly. If we do 5,000 gallons times that 5% monthly rebate that we talked about at ExxonMobil, not only is that putting money back in your pocket, but it's completely offsetting that cost of $2 per card. And I brought up this example specifically of the ExxonMobil locations around you. There's over 50 in greater Philadelphia area. Do any of these addresses stand out to you?
Not specifically.
So this top one right here, South Broad Street, is actually the street we're sitting on right now that your office is located at.
Okay.
So it's going to be really easy, really accessible for you guys to go to these ExxonMobil locations and take advantage of that 5% rebate.
So can you explain this to me? Because like I see it, but where exactly am I getting that $250 a month?
Yeah, so you guys are fueling up about 5,000 gallons per month, right? If you put that 5,000 gallons at fueling up at ExxonMobil locations and times it by 5 cents, we get $250.
All right, so it's a rebate on each like gallon that
per gallon, right? Does that clarify your objection for you?
It does.
Okay, moving on to the next thing is the time savings. I wrote Megan, I didn't know there was a change, but for you, you would be spending 5 hours weekly processing these reimbursements, which adds up to 20 hours monthly, which is equivalent to $500 in labor costs at $25 per hour.
Yeah.
That's just the average. I'm not sure what you pay your employees, but from my past experience with clients, it's around $25. And that comes out to $26,000 annually that you're spending to have somebody do these reimbursements. Yeah. If I could give you that time back and essentially that salary back to focus on something else, what else could you be focusing on?
The one thing I'll throw out is I would say I'm kind of a whiz on Excel. So I don't think it would necessarily take me like 5 hours to process everything.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know how accurate I would say. Again, these numbers are based on like the new kind of things. I would also be concerned because this is saving me time, but I'm an important part of this company, don't get me wrong.
Of course you are. CFO, very important.
I'm also, people don't expect this out of CFO, but I'm a very employee-oriented person. I care about my people, and I'm worried like something new like this, a new system, all these changes, especially in such an inconsistent time. It's just additional work. It's additional burden. It's something that's just another thing my employees have to worry about. So it might be saving me time, but how much time is it going to cost them? Yeah. Trying to onboard and learn and like get support and things like that.
So just to clarify, you're worried about time.
For my
For you,
employees.
okay.
For
Let's
my
break this
employees.
down for the first thing. I know you mentioned that you might not be consistent with that 5 hours, but with this automated reported, it's immediate. There's no time involved. And you might be that whiz in Excel,
that's
but I
quicker
don't
than
know
I
if you're
can do.
immediate, yeah.
That's
So
quicker than I can do.
that's something that could save you time, even if it's an hour or two, correct?
Yep, for sure.
And with your employees, this is gonna save them time as well, because I'm putting this report right at their fingertips. It's
Mhm.
available with one click through that online portal that we talked about, or
Yep.
that app. So it's really gonna be extreme time saver, Drew.
Mhm.
Does this make sense to you? Does that
It
answer your
does.
question?
It does.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And finally, the last thing that I want to talk about is inefficiencies.
Mhm.
So we talked about you lacking control over unauthorized spending, correct?
Yep,
That you don't have that guardrail in place to raise that red flag if any unauthorized spending was happening.
absolutely.
It's not going to be the case with WEX fuel users. So I've seen from my past clients a savings of up to 15% with truly taking advantage of this tool and putting guardrails in place of what type of fuel you guys are using, what they're purchasing at the gas station.
Okay.
And with your $15,000 per month spending, that's $2,200 on the table, Drew.
Okay.
What could you do with this money back in your pocket?
Again, I would have to think a little bit more about it. I guess I'm more like I'm more concerned about like the customizability of like the real-time tracking. Like, because I see it says fuel usage by driver or vehicle location, but not all of our drivers are necessarily equal. There's some who are just naturally by the routes and the clients that they serve are going to have different requirements for fuel, for locations, for other things than other drivers. So how customizable is something like this within our for our company's
Yeah,
specific needs?
so if I'm hearing you right, you're asking about customizability, and that's a great thing about WEX is it's super customizable to your drivers. So I know I mentioned that ExxonMobil, but that's just for rebate. We're accepted at 95% of gas stations. Is there one in particular that your guys like to fuel up at?
Nope. Again, we're all over the place.
You're all over the place?
We're really like,
So your guys,
they're just, we need to have an option everywhere we're at.
and that's great because we are accepted at 95% of gas stations. So whether your
Oh.
guys stopping at Wawa for that hoagie or maybe Rutter's, will be accepted there.
That makes sense.
Does that clarify everything for you?
It does for you.
And finally, I just want to add up all these numbers to give you a visual of what we're really talking about.
Mhm.
So we went over the rebates, we went over the time savings, and we went over that estimated monthly savings with the inefficiencies. That comes out to an estimated $56,000 that I could possibly be saving you, Drew.
Mhm.
How much is this worth to you?
I mean, again, it seems worth a lot. I will say the numbers seem a little too good to be true. So
Yeah.
I would probably want to like dive into them with my team.
I would love to dive into them with you, that we
Awesome.
can break it down
Yeah,
together.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to ask, is there anything stopping you from moving forward with the next steps? I know we discussed a lot, so I
Yeah.
just want to check in and see where your head's at.
Absolutely. And one, I appreciate you answering my questions throughout. I know, you know, this is a big investment for our company. We're a very change resistant organization. So when we consider new things, we definitely want to make sure we cover our basis. I just am curious, like we've had people leave the organization recently. How, like, is there anything to prevent like someone selling their gas card after they leave the company?
After they leave the organization, that's a great question. So after someone's done at the organization, we actually collect those WEX cards back.
But what if they, like someone's like unwilling to give it back and just sells it?
Yeah, so the drivers actually have a 4-digit PIN number that they stamp in at the gas station and only they have knowledgeable to it.
Okay,
So if they were to give it to somebody else, they wouldn't have access to that 4-digit PIN number
got it.
to enter at the gas
Got it,
station.
got
Does
it.
that clarify everything
Yes,
for
it
you?
does.
Okay, well, I would love to get the ball rolling on this. I know you're super, super interested in saving that time, saving that money.
Yeah,
Is there anything stopping you from moving forward with the next steps today?
don't think so.
Okay, all right, well, I'm excited for this. I hope you're excited for this.
Likewise, yeah.
Yeah, bringing on something new to the company. I did bring a document over if you would like to get the ball rolling on this.
All right,
Yeah, does that work for you?
sure.
All right. Thanks, Drew, so much. And I appreciate you meeting me for lunch.
Absolutely. Thank you for paying, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's on me. Yeah, you're welcome. Maybe with all the time you save and money, you can pay next time.
No, you're gonna be dead.
Thanks for meeting with me.
Absolutely.